We want to stand for the rights of women.
Welcome to this Point Blank special where we bring you an episode on the Aware EGM, which we would like to call the Showdown at Suntec. I'm Kai Ling.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Shiting. Now, many of you would have read about everything that went on during the Aware AGM. So what we are trying to do today is to reconstruct what happened that day.
But before we go any further, this is what we saw when we first got to Suntec Convention Centre on Saturday.
To see the whole thing and what it is, what they are going to talk about, etc. But most likely, I'll go for the old team.
We're here to support the old guard because basically we are worried that the new guard may not be able to represent the views as well as we believe the old guard did.
The way that the new people have come in, it's unacceptable. They have the right to their own opinions, but this is no way to go about supporting it.
For me, it's more to see what's happening, and I want to make an informed decision. I was quite appalled by what goes on in the comprehensive sexual education, and my child will very soon be in that teenage, age group, and so I will probably support the group that would look into the welfare of the teenagers.
The situation is being sorted out, so don't let your tempers flare, okay? Just be very, very patient about it. We're doing our best to get everybody in, okay?
I have been reading what's going on in the newspapers, and I've been very concerned because I'm not sure if this is the direction that Singapore should be going in. So that's really why I'm here. I want to find out what's going on.
I am not for the new guard because they have so far acted without integrity. No doubt the old guard must have made mistakes, and they will continue to make mistakes, but their mistakes are honest mistakes, and they are not like trying to cover up.
I like to assist your mom. It wasn't a good comeback. After the clear from the please follow, help us.
But they might be very...
Ask them to move behind. Ask them to move behind. Ask them to move behind. I have very move behind from there. Okay, if not we will stop there. Nobody can come until 12:30. I agree. Now the organizer is telling us.
Okay, so give us some time.
Okay, we talk to him and come back. If not, we will going to ask them to clear and come back 12:30.
Okay, fine. We're just trying to make sure that we're not trying to talk.
Okay.
Because if now you give us clear and you come back even more messy, then people more angry.
Just tell them. Okay, talk to the organizer and come back.
Thank you very much. Okay. You.
We both have done some voluntary work before with the old guards, some fundraising and all that. We have seen how hard they work. Even if they are not doing something that is right in the new guard's opinion, I think discussion should have been done instead of doing what they did.
turning up as early as 10 a.m. in the morning, and there were already some commotion then. Well, I personally heard from a supporter of the Old Guards that they were there actually very early to set up a food stand for the people queuing up, and there were some scuffles, and volunteers were actually asked to leave the place.
Yeah, actually, you can see from the video that there was just a whole lot of people. I got that too, and I was like, whoa, I think I called Amanda. I was like, where are you, Amanda? Then she was like, I'm at upstairs. I'm like, yeah, I'm queuing for a lot of people. Then she was like, you are on the second floor. And that was where the queue was. So
because I actually reached there at about 11, and even as early as that, there were already a lot of crowds, because registration starts at 12 noon, but at 11 already there were like queues forming from the 3rd level all the way up to the 4th level, so you can tell how early these people actually come.
So if you think about it, a lot of them were there from 11 all the way till, I think, safe to say, around 10.
Yeah,
10.
That's right. And there was a little bit of a commotion going on when the security guards actually arrived, because there were such a huge crowds. Everybody was, around the area outside the exhibition hall. So the police wanted them to all separate so that it's more orderly.
Yeah. And there was different queues going on, right? There were queues. On that day itself, there was still open registration for new members. And then there were queues for members who sign up and turn up to register and go in and get their ballot papers and all that. So I was a bit like...
Yeah, and there were also a queue for like existing members.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There were just a lot of queues.
Yeah.
But of course, after around 2 o'clock, they say we stop the registration for new members, old members, so that the EGM can start at 2:30, which is already late. And from the footage that we saw just now, actually we weren't allowed to go in, only members can go in. So our cameraman was actually standing on a chair and shooting from the door.
I sort of assumed that since this thing was so big, right, there was no way they're going to shut the media out. But they did. Somehow, with some clever maneuvers, I got myself a sticker. So I went in.
I was outside, so I talked to quite a number of people who were queuing up, and most of them actually were supporters of the Old Guards.
Which I found very surprising, because I was telling Amanda, I was like, you need to get a balanced story. You need to get like supporters of the New Guards to talk to you. And she was like...
Yeah, because I spoke to them like on a random basis. It wasn't from like one side of the queue. I actually spoke to people all around the hall, and it just happens that all of them share the same.
How many people do you end up talking to like in that?
I think about almost 20.
Yeah.
And then Kylie, you actually wanted her to just go down the line and ask if you were the supporters of the Old Guard or the New Guard. And I also went down the line. I tried to help Amanda, but there's just too many Old Guards.
Which the result shows in the end 141427761. And it's weird because after that day, the numbers are just sort of entrenched in my head.
Yeah.
1414761. 1414761. Yeah.
Okay, when you were inside, the two of us got prepared for the press conferences that I actually wanted to organize. I was at one of the rooms at the Suntec City Convention Hall, and that was for the New Guards, whereas you were at New York, right?
Yeah, it's a cafe where they wanted to hold a press conference after the vote. It was by the Old Aware Committee.
Okay, and then when we come back, we will show you what happened inside the EGM, because we did finally manage to get in.